Managing change. Individuals, managers, teams, and organizations that do not adapt to change in timely ways are unlikely to survive in our increasingly turbulent world environment. Managers that anticipate change, learn to adapt to change, and manage change will be the most successful. Overcoming resistance. Change is a process of moving from a present state to a more desired state in response to internal and external factors. To successfully implement change, you need to possess the skills to convince others of the need for change, identify gaps between the current situation and desired conditions, and create visions for desirable outcomes. Experienced managers are aware that efforts to change often face resistance. This can be for a variety of reasons, including fear, vested interest, misunderstanding, lack of trust, different perceptions of a situation, and limited resources. You need to be able to counter this resistance to change through education, participation, and negotiation. Promoting change. Major change does not happen easily. Effective managers are able to establish a sense of urgency that the change is needed. If an organization is obviously facing a threat to its survival, this kind of crisis usually gets people's attention. Dramatically declining profits and stock prices are examples. In other cases, when no current crisis is obvious, but managers have identified potential problems by scanning the external environment, the manager needs to find ways to communicate the information broadly and dramatically to make others aware of the need for change. Managers also have to develop and articulate a compelling vision and strategy that people will aspire to that will guide the change effort. The vision of what will be like when the change is achieved should illuminate core principles and values that pull followers together. Lastly, institutionalizing changes in the organizational culture will refreeze a change. New values and beliefs will become instilled in the culture so that employees view the changes as normal and integral to the operations of the organization. Tip: turn to the positive. Try to use any resistance to your proposed change to your benefit by making it a stimulus for dialogue and a deeper, more thoughtful analysis of the alternatives. In focus, phases of change. Planned change progresses through 3 phases. Unfreezing. This involves helping people see that a change is needed because the existing situation is undesirable. Existing attitudes and behaviors need to be altered during this phase to reduce resistance by explaining how the change can help increase productivity. For example, your goal in this phase is to help the participants see the need for change and to increase their willingness to make the change a success. Changing. This involves making the actual change and requires you to help participants let go of old ways of doing things and develop new ones. Refreezing. The final phase involves reinforcing the changes made so that the new ways of behaving become stabilized. If people perceive the change to be working in their favor, positive results will serve as reinforcement, but if not, it may be necessary to use external reinforcements, which can be positive or negative. Helping others improve. Helping employees become more competent is an important part of any manager's job. It contributes to a 3-way win for the organization, the manager, and the employees themselves. By helping others resolve personal problems and develop skill competencies, and so help them improve their performance, you will motivate your team to achieve better results for themselves and for the organization. Diagnosing problems. If you can reduce unsatisfactory performance in the people you are managing, you ultimately make your job easier because you'll be increasingly able to delegate responsibilities to them. Unsatisfactory performance often has multiple causes. Some causes are within control of the person experiencing the difficulties, while others are not. 29% of employees are fully engaged with their jobs, feeling a passion for their work and a real connection with their company. Ways to help others improve. Accept mistakes and use them as learning opportunities. Actively listen to employees and show genuine interest. Help develop action plans for improvement. Recognize and reward even small improvements. Seek to educate rather than to assist. Model the behaviors you desire. Provide meaningful feedback for learning. Demonstrate unconditional positive regard by suspending judgment and evaluation. Encourage continual improvement. Ask questions to help discover sources of problems. Demonstrating positive regard. The relationship between you and the person you are helping is critical to the success of the coaching, mentoring, or counseling you undertake with them. For a helping relationship to be successful, it is important to hold the person being helped in unconditional positive regard. This means that you accept and exhibit warm regard for a person needing help as a person of unconditional self-worth, a person of value no matter what the conditions, problems, or feelings. If you can communicate positive regard, it provides a climate of warmth and safety because the person feels liked and prized as a person. This is a necessary condition for developing the trust that is crucial in a helping relationship. The person being helped should be held in unconditional positive regard. Conducting a helping session. Before you speak to someone about how to help them improve their performance, make sure you have acquired all the facts about the situation. Take time to think about what type of help the situation requires. Consider how the person might react and how they might feel about what you're going to discuss. Start by discussing the purpose of the helping session. Try to make the person feel comfortable and at ease. Establish a non-defensive climate, characterized by open communication and trust. Before you discuss the problem you have identified, raise and discuss positive aspects of the person's performance. Mutually define the problem, performance, or attitude. Help the other person establish an action plan that includes specific goals and dates. Mutually determine the causes. Do not interpret or psychoanalyze behavior. Instead, ask questions such as, what's causing the lack of motivation you describe? After the session, make sure that you follow up to see how the person is progressing and modify the action plan if necessary. Affirm your confidence in the person's ability to make needed changes based on his or her strengths or past history. Summarize what has been agreed upon. Make sure expectations are clearly understood. Counseling others. Counseling is a discussion of emotional problems in order to resolve them or to help the person better cope. Problems that might require counseling include divorce, serious illness, financial problems, interpersonal conflicts, drug and alcohol abuse, and frustration over a lack of career progress. Although most managers are not qualified as psychologists, there are several things managers can do in a counseling role before referring someone to a professional therapist. Confidentiality is of paramount importance when counseling others. To open up and share the reasons for many personal problems. People must feel that they can trust you and that there is no threat to their self-esteem or their reputation with others. Emphasize that you will treat in confidence everything that the other person says regarding personal matters. In focus, feedback. People need feedback about the consequences of their actions if they are to learn what works and what doesn't, and then change their actions to become more effective. Carefully thought out feedback can increase performance and positive personal development. Applying feedback in the helping process involves describing observed behaviors and the results and consequences of those behaviors, assessing the impact of the observed behaviors in terms of organizational vision and goals, predicting the personal consequences for the person involved if no changes take place, recommending changes the person could make to improve their behavior. This sequence of actions applies whether the type of help being given to the person is coaching, mentoring, or counseling. Confidentiality is paramount when counseling others. People must feel that they can trust you. Tip: be supportive. Reassure those you are counseling that their problems have solutions and that they have the ability to improve their situation. 92% of employees agree that negative feedback, if appropriately delivered, is highly effective at improving performance. Dealing with personal problems. Getting someone to recognize that he or she has a problem is often the first step in helping deal with it. You can then follow up by helping gain insights into feelings and behaviors, and by exploring the available options. Sometimes people just need a sounding board for releasing tension, which can become a prelude to clarifying a problem, identifying possible solutions, and taking corrective action. Talking things through in a counseling session can help people sort out their feelings into more logical and coherent thoughts. Above all, be supportive and provide reassurance. People need to know that their problems have solutions. If problems are beyond a person's capability to solve, explain how professional treatment can be obtained through employee assistance programs, for example, or health plans. Coaching and mentoring. Coaching is the process of helping people improve performance. A coach analyzes performance, provides insight on how to improve, and offers the leadership, motivation, and supportive climate to help achieve that improvement. In mentoring relationships, a more experienced person formally pairs up with a less experienced one to help show them the ropes and provide emotional support and encouragement, helping others develop. As a coach, a manager's job is to help members of their team develop skills and improve. This involves providing instruction, guidance, advice, and encouragement. Effective coaches first establish a supportive climate that promotes development. It is particularly important that you remain non-judgmental and understanding throughout the process. Try to solve problems jointly and educate those you are coaching about how to solve their own problems in the future. As you learn more about the person you are coaching, try to determine the sources of any problems you discover and provide meaningful feedback. Coaching a process. To coach successfully, you will need to follow these steps. Explain, and then demonstrate the process. Observe the person practicing the process. Provide immediate, specific feedback. Express confidence in the person's ability. Agree on follow-up actions. 52% of large companies run internal coaching program. 3 key skills for successful coaching. 1. Finding ways to improve performance. Help others improve by observing what they do, asking questions, listening, and crafting unique improvement strategies. 2. Influencing others to change their behavior. Monitor people's progress and development and recognize and reward even small improvements. Involve others in decision-making processes. This helps encourage people to be responsive to change. Break large, complex projects into series of simpler tasks. This can boost confidence as the tasks are achieved. Be a role model for the qualities that you expect from others, such as openness, commitment, and responsibility. 3. Creating a supportive climate. Use active listening. Empower others to implement appropriate ideas, and be available for assistance, guidance, and advice. Managing carers. In today's rapidly changing business landscape, managers need to actively manage their careers and provide career guidance to those they are managing. To determine where and how you can best contribute, you need to know yourself, continually develop yourself, and be able to ascertain when and how to change the work you do. Charting your own career path. Self-assessment is an ongoing process in career management. Successful careers develop when people are prepared for opportunities because they know their strengths, their methods of work, and their values. Self-directed career management is a process by which individuals guide, direct, and influence the course of their careers. This requires exploration and awareness of not only yourself, but also your environment. Individuals who are proactive and collect relevant information about personal needs, values, interests, talents, and lifestyle preferences are more likely to be satisfied and productive when searching for job opportunities, to develop successful career plans, and be productive in their jobs and careers. Ensure that those you are managing have reasonable workloads. Driving forward. The first step in self-directed career management is planning. Taking your strengths, limitations, and values into account. Start searching the environment for matching opportunities. Use the information you gather to establish realistic career goals, and then develop a strategy to achieve them. As you progress through your career plan, regularly undertake performance appraisals to make sure that you are remaining on track and that your goals haven't changed. Directing others. The most important thing you can do to contribute to the career development of others is to instill in them the need to take responsibility for managing their own careers. Then you can provide support that will enable those you are managing to add to their skills, abilities, and knowledge in order to maintain their employability within the organization, to help those you are managing develop their careers. Keep your team updated about the organization's goals and future strategies so that they will know where the organization is headed and be better able to develop a personal career development plan to share in that future. Create growth opportunities for your team to give them new, interesting, and professionally challenging work experiences. Offer financial assistance, such as tuition reimbursement for college courses or skills training. Allow paid time off from work for off-the-job training, and ensure that those you are managing have reasonable workloads so that they are not precluded from having time to develop new skills, abilities, and knowledge. In focus, career stages. Individuals just beginning their careers are usually more concerned with identifying organizations that have the potential to satisfy their career goals and match their values. After settling into a job, focus shifts to achieving initial successes, gaining credibility, learning to get along with their boss, and managing image. Managers in the middle of their careers are more concerned with career reappraisal, overcoming obsolescence owing to technological advances, and becoming more of a generalist. In the later stages of their careers, managers focus more on teaching others and leaving a contribution before retirement.